New Year's Eve was supposed to be celebration. Fireworks, music, crowds counting down to midnight. Instead, Amsterdam crossed into chaos. As the clock struck 12, the city erupted not in joy, but in violence, panic, and lawlessness spreading street by street. Fireworks turned into weapons, crowds turned into mobs. Emergency sirens drowned out the sound of celebration. Trams stopped, police retreated, shops barricaded doors as groups smashed windows and set fires beneath glowing New Year lights. Tourists ran for cover, residents locked themselves inside, and authorities lost control faster than anyone expected. This wasn't one incident. It was multiple flashpoints igniting at once, overwhelming police and shattering the illusion of order in one of Europe's most open cities. What unfolded over the next hours shocked the Netherlands and raised a question no one wanted to ask. How did a celebration turn into a citywide breakdown? Stay with us. 11:58 p.m. Dam Square is packed shoulder to shoulder, phones raised, fireworks primed, tourists smiling, locals laughing, champagne already spilling onto frozen pavement. Then midnight hits. Fireworks explode overhead, but not just in the sky. They fire sideways, into crowds, into shop fronts, into police lines. At first, people think it's part of the celebration, then the screaming starts. A firework detonates near a tram stop. Glass rains down, someone falls. Someone else trips over them. Within seconds, panic spreads faster than sound. Police shout commands, drowned out by explosions and chants. 12:07 am, multiple flashpoints reports flood emergency channels simultaneously. Round Pushpin Dam Square, fireworks used as projectiles round Pushpin Nieuwendijk. Shop windows smashed round Pushpin Leidseplein. Street brawls erupt round Pushpin Oost. Cars set on fire round Pushpin Sloterdijk. Police vehicles damaged. This isn't random. It's synchronized chaos. Small groups move fast, dressed dark, faces covered, slipping through crowds like smoke. They don't stay, they strike and vanish. Officers chase one group, another ignites 2 streets away. Command radios crackle. We're overwhelmed. Send backup now. We can't hold the line. 12:25 am, fireworks become weapons. What was celebration becomes assault. Rockets launched at eye level. Explosives thrown under parked cars. Metal bins tipped and set ablaze. A police officer ducks as a firework detonates inches from his helmet. A medic screams, "We've got burn victims, multiple." Crowds scatter. Tourists scream in languages no one understands. Parents clutch children and run blindly through smoke. Amsterdam, famous for openness, feels suddenly hostile. 12:40 am. Police lose ground. Riot police deploy, shields up, batons drawn. But they are too few and the streets are too many. Groups surround officers, filming, taunting, throwing bottles and fireworks. A police commander shouts into megaphone, "Disperse immediately." No one listens. Because once fear replaces celebration, authority collapses fast. A police van is hit, windshield shatters. Officers retreat to regroup. For the first time that night, something unthinkable happens. Police abandon a section of the city center. 1:00 am, the city shuts itself. Shop owners pull metal shutters down mid-chaos. Restaurants lock doors, trapping customers inside. Hotels usher guests into basements and hallways. A hotel manager whispers on camera, "This feels like a riot, not New Year." Trams stop running. Metro stations close without warning. The city freezes except for the violence. 1:20 am, social media ignites. Panic videos flood every platform. Fires in the streets, masked youth smashing storefronts, fireworks exploding near police, people bleeding, screaming, running. Hashtags explode. Number Amsterdam chaos, number NYE violence, number city out of control. Millions watch live. And watching turns into fear. Messages spread, stay inside, don't go out, police can't help. Panic becomes contagious. 1:45 am, ordinary people step in with police stretched thin. Residents begin doing the unthinkable. They defend their streets. Neighbors stand outside apartment blocks with sticks, bikes, anything solid. Shop owners form lines in front of businesses. Bar staff lock arms to protect trapped patrons, not vigilantes, desperate citizens. A man in Jordan says quietly, "If the city won't protect us, we protect each other." This isn't bravery, it's survival. 2:10 am, emergency services collapse. Ambulances stuck in traffic created by barricades and fires. Paramedics forced to run on foot. A medic shouts into radio, "We can't reach the injured, streets blocked." Hospitals activate emergency protocols. Burn victims, head injuries, panic attacks. New Year celebrations officially cancelled. Too late to matter. 2:30 am, government scrambles. Emergency meetings called overnight. City officials stunned by speed of collapse. A senior official admits off record, "We lost control in under 90 minutes." That sentence alone would haunt the morning. Because cities don't lose control gradually, they lose it all at once. 3 a.m, the night staggers on, fires still burn. Police regain some streets, lose others. Crowds thin, but violence remains unpredictable. Amsterdam survives the night, but scarred. By dawn, the streets will be littered with glass, ash, and unanswered questions. Because this wasn't just about fireworks. It was about tension, enforcement, fear, and a system stretched too thin to respond when everything went wrong at once. And when the sun rises, the real reckoning begins. 6:11 a.m, dawn creeps over Amsterdam like it's afraid of what it might reveal. The smoke hasn't fully cleared. Sirens still echo, fewer now but sharper. And the streets look like they've survived a war they never signed up for. Glass crunches under boots. Burned out bins smolder. Firework shells litter pavements like shrapnel. This isn't a hangover from celebration. This is the aftermath of collapse. 6:30 a.m, the numbers begin to emerge. Authorities start releasing preliminary figures, and they hit hard. Hundreds injured, dozens with burns, police officers hospitalized, over 200 arrests, many juveniles, dozens of vehicles damaged or destroyed, entire retail streets closed indefinitely. Official stress. These are early estimates. That phrase terrifies people more than the numbers themselves, because early estimates always get worse. 7 a.m, residents step out into damage. Locals emerge cautiously, some filming, some crying, some just standing silently. A cafe owner stares at a shattered window, hands shaking. "We closed early to stay safe, it didn't matter." A tram driver points at scorch marks on tracks. This city has never looked like this. Not even close. Parents walk children past blackened pavement, shielding their eyes. Tourists pack bags in silence, cutting trips short, whispering into phones, "We're leaving today." The city's confidence is shaken, not temporarily but fundamentally. 7:45 a.m, police admit the truth at a morning press briefing. The tone is no longer defensive. A senior police official speaks carefully. "We faced multiple simultaneous disturbances. Resources were overwhelmed. Translation understood by everyone watching. We lost control." A reporter presses, "Why weren't stronger measures in place?" Silence stretches. Then the answer. "The scale exceeded expectations." That line detonates public trust, because expectations are exactly what planning is built on. 8:30 a.m, political pressure builds. City officials scramble into emergency meetings. National politicians cancel holiday appearances and rush back to microphones. Opposition voices move fast. This was a failure of preparation. Warnings were ignored. Residents were put at risk. Government figures respond defensively. "We condemn violence. Investigations are underway. This does not represent our city." But words feel thin against broken streets. Social media doesn't care about nuance. 9 a.m. The videos that change everything. New footage emerges. Clearer, calmer, devastating. Masked groups coordinating by phone. Fireworks launched deliberately at police officers retreating under heavy pressure. People trapped inside shops as chaos erupts. One clip shows a family crouched behind a tram stop as fireworks explode overhead. The caption reads, "New Year in Amsterdam." It spreads globally. Millions watch, and millions ask the same question: how did authorities let this happen? 9:40 a.m, the blame game begins. Commentators line up. Some blame policing strategy, others blame social tension, others point to fireworks laws, enforcement gaps, or organized disorder. A former official says on television, "This wasn't spontaneous. This was opportunistic violence exploiting celebration." That word sticks, opportunistic. It suggests something worse than anger. It suggests readiness. 10:15 a.m, ordinary people speak. A resident from Oost, voice breaking. "We love this city, but last night it felt like it turned on us." A shop worker bandaging a cut hand. "I'm not angry, I'm scared. What if this happens again?" A paramedic, exhausted, eyes hollow. "We were treating injuries while fireworks exploded around us." These voices drown out official statements because they're real. 11 a.m, security measures tighten. Police presence doubles in key areas. Heavily armed units patrol city center. Fireworks bans enforced aggressively. Too late for last night. Helicopters circle. Roadblocks remain. The city looks calmer but tense, like a body holding trauma. Officials insist order has returned, but no one believes normal is coming back quickly. 12 p.m, the question no one escapes. At noon, a national broadcaster opens its coverage with a single line. If New Year can spiral into chaos this fast, what about the next flashpoint? That question hangs heavy, Because the issue isn't just Amsterdam, it's preparedness, it's cohesion. It's whether authorities can respond when everything goes wrong at once. And people feel something new now, uncertainty. 1:30 p.m., official investigation announced. An independent review is promised. Fireworks policy, police deployment, crowd control, emergency response, all the right words, but residents don't want reports, they want reassurance. And reassurance is in short supply. 2:00 p.m., a city changed. Amsterdam doesn't collapse, it stands, but differently, more guarded, more cautious, less naive. People still walk the canals, cafes still open, trams still run, but something invisible broke overnight. The assumption that celebration automatically equals safety. The belief that chaos is always elsewhere. The final truth: what happened on New Year's Eve wasn't just violence. It was a stress test, and the system failed it. And as evening approaches again, the city watches closely. Because once a line is crossed, the hardest question isn't what happened last night. It's 4:18 p.m., Amsterdam looks calm again on the surface. Tour boats move slowly through canals. Cafes reopen with cracked windows taped over. Trams ring their bells like nothing happened. But beneath the surface, the city is braced, not healed. Police patrols stand on every major square, heavier, quieter, watching. Residents glance twice at strangers. Shopkeepers keep doors half closed, fingers hovering near shutters. This is what comes after chaos. A city waiting for the next blow. 4:45 p.m., official narrative collides with public memory. City officials release a statement. Order has been restored, the situation is stable. But social media remembers differently. Footage from the night keeps resurfacing, slowed down, analyzed, stitched together. People replay moments authorities would rather forget. Officers retreating, fireworks launched at head height, fires burning unattended streets abandoned. A viral caption reads, "Stability came after collapse." And that distinction matters, because people don't fear disorder alone, they fear delay. 5:30 p.m. Trust begins to fracture. Public forums and call-in shows light up. A resident says calmly, "I followed the rules, stayed peaceful, trusted the system. Last night the system disappeared." Another caller adds, "If police couldn't protect the city on the most predictable night of the year, when can they?" This isn't rage. It's disillusionment, colder, deeper, harder to reverse. 6:15 p.m., ARISDS spark a new tension. Authorities announce fast-track prosecutions for those arrested overnight. Politicians praise decisive action. But footage surfaces showing teenagers among detainees, some barely old enough to vote. Families gather outside police stations, crying, shouting, demanding answers. A mother screams into camera, "You lost control, now my son pays for it." Another voice shouts back, "They burned our city." Two sides harden, justice versus blame, responsibility versus resentment. The fractures deepen. 7:00 p.m. Security tightens as night falls again. As darkness approaches, fear returns with it. Police issue warnings. No large gatherings, fireworks confiscated on site. Zero tolerance enforcement. Helicopters return to the sky. Residents cancel plans, bars close early, families stay in. The city remembers how fast night changed everything before. 7:45 p.m., the international eye turns. Foreign media runs the same footage again and again. Headlines ask, is Europe prepared for urban flashpoint violence? Are cities underestimating crowd volatility? Officials insist Amsterdam is safe, but perception has already moved. And perception shapes tourism, investment, and trust faster than facts. 8:30 p.m., a silent protest. Emerges without coordination. Residents begin placing candles along damaged streets. No chants, no signs. Just quiet lines of light. People stand together without speaking. A man whispers to a reporter, "This isn't about politics. It's about reminding ourselves we still belong to this city." The image spreads, candles against broken glass. It becomes the most shared photo of the day, because it says what speeches cannot. We are shaken, but we are still here. 9:15 p.m., officials feel the pressure behind closed doors. Emergency meetings continue. Questions no one wants to answer out loud dominate the room. Why were warnings underestimated? Why were resources stretched thin on a known high-risk night? Why did it take abandonment for response to escalate? Someone finally says what everyone thinks, "If this happens again, we won't get a second chance." Silence follows, because cities survive violence, they don't always survive loss of confidence. 10:00 p.m. The lasting damage. As the night settles, Amsterdam does not erupt again, but it also does not relax. People look out windows before stepping outside. Parents text children constantly. Sirens, even routine ones, make hearts jump. This is how unrest lingers, not loudly, quietly. The final reality, what happened on New Year's Eve, was not an anomaly. It was a warning about crowd psychology, about delayed response, about how fast celebration can turn when order thins. Amsterdam didn't fall, but it learned something uncomfortable. Stability is not guaranteed, it is maintained. And when maintenance fails, even briefly, the cost is paid in fear long after the fires go out. As midnight approaches again, one question hangs over the city. Was this a one-night breakdown or the first crack in something much bigger? 11:58 p.m., 24 hours after chaos first erupted, Amsterdam reaches midnight again. No fireworks, no countdowns, no cheers echoing across the canals. Only quiet, not peaceful quiet, watchful quiet. Police vans idle at intersections. Officers stand still, scanning faces instead of crowds. Helicopters hum overhead like mechanical heartbeats, reminding everyone that order is being held, not assumed. This is what comes after a city is shocked into awareness. 12:15 a.m., the city holds itself together. There is no second eruption, no coordinated violence, no flashpoints, but people don't relax. Windows remain shut. Shops stay closed. Cafes that reopened hours earlier lock doors early again. A bartender wipes the counter slowly and says to no one in particular, "We are open, but it doesn't feel right." Because normality doesn't return on command. It has to be believed again. 1 a.m. Police reflect internally inside precincts. Exhausted officers debrief. Uniforms stained with soot and sweat. Hands shaking from adrenaline crash. One officer says quietly, "We weren't beaten, we were outpaced." Another adds, "Next time we need to be ready before it starts, not after." That word, next time, hangs heavy, because everyone now knows there will be a next time somewhere someday. 2:30 a.m., the youth question emerges reports reveal a pattern authorities can't ignore. A significant number of those arrested are under 20. Many had no prior records. Some were bystanders pulled into momentum. Experts begin appearing on panels, voices calm but grave. This wasn't ideology, it was energy without direction. Crowds don't need hate to explode, they need opportunity. Parents watching at home feel a cold realization settle in. This wasn't outsiders alone, this wasn't others. It was the city's own children caught in a moment that spiraled. 4 a.m., a city without sleep. Amsterdam doesn't fully sleep that night. Lights stay on, phones keep buzzing. People scroll footage they wish they hadn't watched. Fear doesn't scream now, it lingers, whispering questions. What if police hadn't regained control? What if fires had spread? What if this happens during a larger crisis? These questions don't have answers yet, and unanswered questions are the most dangerous kind. 7 a.m., the morning that feels different. Morning commuters move again. Bikes roll over cracked glass swept hastily aside. Canals reflect a pale winter sun. Life resumes, but slower. People greet each other with looks instead of smiles. Strangers nod in shared understanding. A woman locking her shop door says to a neighbor, "I never thought I'd be afraid on New Year's Eve." The neighbor replies, "Neither did I." That exchange repeats all over the city in different words. 9:30 a.m., policy METS reality authorities announce proposed measures. Tighter firework controls, increased police presence on high-risk nights, faster response coordination, expanded crowd monitoring technology, all logical, all necessary, but public reaction is muted. Because people have learned something uncomfortable, policies come after consequences. Trust requires proof. 11 a.m., the economic ripple tour operators report cancellations. Hotels receive nervous emails. Small businesses count losses quietly. An economist explains, cities don't just sell safety, they sell the belief of safety. And belief, once shaken, takes time to rebuild. 1 p.m. The memory SETS in memorial candles remain on streets even after wax hardens. People add flowers, no official ceremony, just collective instinct. Someone writes in chalk near a burned bin, "Never again." It isn't a demand. It's a hope. 3 p.m., the uncomfortable truth in closed-door meetings. One conclusion becomes unavoidable. What happened wasn't caused by one failure. It was layers of strain colliding at once: crowds, enforcement limits, celebration culture, opportunism, delayed response. No single villain, no single fix, just a reminder that modern cities operate closer to the edge than anyone likes to admit. 6 p.m., Amsterdam at dusk. As evening approaches again, the city breathes carefully. Police remain visible, people adjust routines, children ask questions parents struggle to answer. Life goes on because it has to, but something fundamental has shifted, the illusion that chaos is impossible here. The lasting echo what New Year's Eve did was not destroy Amsterdam. It exposed it, exposed how thin the line is between celebration and panic, how fast crowds change character, how fragile order becomes when multiple things go wrong at once. The city didn't fall, but it looked over the edge, and once you've seen that edge, you never forget where it is. The streets are calm again, the glass is swept away. The sirens have fallen silent, but the question still hangs in the air. Was this just one night of chaos or a warning of how fragile modern cities have become? Amsterdam survived, but something changed. Trust was tested. Preparedness was questioned, and the line between celebration and collapse was exposed for the world to see. Now it's your turn. Backhand index pointing right. What do you think caused this breakdown? Backhand index pointing right. Was it preventable or inevitable? Backhand index pointing right. Could this happen again somewhere else tomorrow night? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We read every one. Share this story so others understand what really happened after the fireworks stopped. Follow for the next chapter, because